Alright, a few quick things before we start. 1. I used to have a storytime series on my channel that I've made 2 videos on. This is now that. I've upgraded it into a podcast because, yeah. Lastly, it's called Dopecast because when I was thinking of name ideas, I tried to say podcast backwards, which sounded weird, but pod backwards kinda sounded like dope. So it's now called Dopecast because I can't think of anything else. And speaking on dope, the new PNGTuber and backgrounds are pretty dope looking. Thanks, Nameless. Alright, now that that's out of the way, moving on. So, I'm gonna try not to sound all conspiracy theory about this as much as possible, but knowing me, I'll still probably find a way somehow. So, I could say Dan to start here, but I'm sure that far more of us are more familiar with Tord. Now, a key feature of Tord is his hair, right? The way it looks and all. Now, same can be said with Dan. Both similar style with the 2 hair spikes. Or teeth. Now, before anyone gets weirded out at me calling Tord's hair points teeth, hear me out. But first, what exactly would you call his hairstyle? And I don't just mean by calling them hair spikes or whatever. What is the name of the hairstyle? Well, something I've noticed when watching an old episode of OBA or Oddball Adventures was a scene that featured a poster. On the poster, it made mentions of no shark tooth hair, which I've probably put up in editing, seeing as I'm the one to edit this time instead of my editor. So, I saw that and thought, shark tooth hair, which got me thinking, is that what you call Tord and Dan's hairstyle? Because they do kind of look like shark teeth. I can see it. I have seen someone recently call it shark fin hair, which I can also see, yes, but we're for the most part focusing on what was written on the poster. So, you could argue that Dan's hair is based off of or inspired by Tord's hair, seeing as Eddsworld came first before Roommates. But I'd also like to point out that in the Christmas episode, where we see Dan's family for the first time, his older and younger sibling have one more or one less hair spike than Dan. So, the youngest having 1, the middle, aka Dan, having 2, and the oldest having 3. So, take with that information what you will, and debate about whether or not Dan's hair is or isn't because of this. Also, quick side note, this is Jason from my own webtoon, The Stupid Adventures of Dan and Jason, which also has the same style hair, although his was actually inspired or based off of Dan's from Roommates, as that's the webtoon that got me into making my own to begin with, and is what Dan and Jason is inspired off of as a whole. Okay, getting back on track now. Moving on, but staying on topic of inspired or based off of, we could all argue that the OG owner of the 2-spiked hairstyle is Fry from Futurama. I mean, that's been going on since before I was even born, that show. And Eddsworld came out, I believe, 2004? But I'm not sure. Don't sue me if I'm wrong. So we could technically say that Tord's hair was inspired or based off of Fry's hair in a way. But, even if it was, that still doesn't explain what exactly the style is called. Sure, Tord's hair could be Futurama Fry hair, but that's still not a technical name. Like, even Fry's hair has to be called something, right? So, if not shark tooth hair, then what? And if not, then what is shark tooth hair otherwise then? I, kinda left myself with more questions than when I started here, and I didn't exactly plan how I was going to end this. I just sorta hit record and decided talking about this. I never planned what I'd do after. So, leave your guys' thoughts in the comments if you'd like, and be sure to check out the description as it will have the credits and junk to all the photos and stuff used in this. I'll probably know what I'm doing a lot more in the next episode of this, so stay tuned for whenever I decide to post that. But, for now, cue the outro. Bye!